y'all put
Xbox
in.
after
All right,
dark.
we gonna switch motherfuckers in and out. So Bloody want to talk.
Yeah.
Yeah, let Bloody talk.
He said,
Let
Bloody bleed on
you
the
don't
We
do
got
what now?
Bloody here. Gone.
You
Bloody
think y'all
want to
do what
talk.
now?
I'm switching
I'm gonna
motherfuckers
tell
in
you
and out.
something right now.
I only can hold. I only can hold motherfucking.
Some of the awards that
Yeah,
Hang on.
think of my little brother, Mr. 1K on Mixer, Mr. 1K on Mixer. Shout out at your man.
Hang on. I gotta make sure. Hang on. I gotta make sure I'm wearing the right glasses. Right? If we're gonna do this, I'm gonna be on camera. I gotta make sure I got the right ones on. Right. All right. Now we good.
Man,
All
take
right.
them all. 45 months.
Leave him. Yo, don't do that.
All right. No, that show.
Come
Right?
on, man. Go and talk.
Let me say. I was like, a lot of the awards, most of the ones that won were well deserved. The only one I was like, look for you, right? Me and you talk about Modern Warfare. Winning the best sound design, like Sekiro had great sound design, RE2 had great sound design, but Modern Warfare sound design absolutely spot on. I was like, some of the games that won best impact, Disco Elysium was actually hella dope and deserved what it did. I was like, a lot of the games that won were well deserved in those categories. The only thing that when we talked about Death Stranding, because I was the only one who played it, besides of course Livewire, we talked about our thoughts on it. The one thing I said that they did really great was they had one of the best soundtracks, and that's because the only thing that Kojima does that has really good is he has a great composer who knows how to choose the right music. That music composition, well deserved. But a lot of the games that won, some of them were very obvious. There was a few that were surprising, but I was still right about Sekiro. I know my bias.
So you think that was the game of the year?
Yes, I do. I was like, it had
How?
Let me explain, right?
Yeah.
Sekiro, while still being still being a very Soulsborne game, especially coming from the fathers of that genre From Software, Sekiro had a little bit more accessibility because of the fact that it didn't have the over-complicated RPG systems of Dark Souls. You didn't have to manage your individual classes. You didn't have to level up and manage individual stats. They introduced like Devil May Cry. They introduced the fact of you level up by getting so many kills, and you get skill points to put into what you want and unlock different styles of play unlocking the different schools of techniques. The only thing that you suffered about it when you died is you would just lose your experience on the current bar, but you wouldn't lose the skill points you already unlocked. I was like, it didn't punish you as significantly as Dark Souls did, because in Dark Souls you had to spend all your souls to individually level up. I was like, if you died, you lose everything you had. So if you were trying to farm and get too cocky, and then you try to rush and you get caught off guard, then you lose everything that you just spent hours farming up. This kind of makes it a little easier. Hang on.
Did we just get a definition from the Spanish Magna?
I'm trying to explain.
Let my man talk. Gonna talk.
Not only that, I was like, it had some of the best game direction from Software. It also had amazing sound design in that game individually, and the story was a lot more upfront compared to Dark Souls. While I love the story of Dark Souls, there's a lot of that game that you have to discover on your own. Sekiro was very much straightforward, presented a lot more information up front. And the only time that you really got to see anything different was when you actually followed what From Software does, is go out to past areas and explore and get the individual stories of other characters that change the overall ending. But most of the time with Dark Souls, it was always one or two endings, depending on what you did. And then for those who actually went exploring and did all the side character storylines, this one was very more upfront, and it presented a lot more story that was very compelling. I was like following the story of the wolf and the owl while they were trying to follow the Iron Code and save the dragon prince. I was like, it's crazy. I was like, it's well deserved.
Chuck want to ask you a question. He want to ask your ass a question.
All right. What any of that have to do with it being game of the year? Comparing it to Dark Souls don't have nothing to do with it being game of the year. The game of the year should have a criteria of certain characteristics in the game. It should be graphically inclined. That don't mean it have to be photorealistic. That don't mean they have to just be just beautiful. It just have like art. Art could be, you know what I'm saying, a good graphic design. You got to have that category. You got to have the category of sound. You got to have the category of storytelling. You got to have the category of replayability. You got to have the category of if it is a single player game, you got to be a hell of a 40 to 50 hour single player game, or you got to have some type of multiplayer component that's not just tacked on, that's actually good. So when I see a game that got to have all those criteria, that's the only way I can see it being game of the year. Now,
it attacks all of those. I was like, it has great visuals, it has great sound direction, it has replayability, but the fact that there's four different endings, and there is enough even from skilled players. I was like, it still takes a grind to get through the game. Even if you take the shorter ending, I was like, you're still looking at about 25 for that. But that also cuts off the whole second half of the campaign that you have to replay and go towards the other endings. So there is replayability, as well as the fact that it is very strong single player. I was like, it doesn't have a multiplayer tacked on. So it focuses heavily on its story, which I said that it presents a lot more compared to the others. All the checkboxes that you say the criteria, it matches all of those. Because of the fact that I'm looking at it as what it did and how it improved and changed from other games in this genre. It very much falls that. It is still a hard game. So yes, as Lemon put it before, is that it's definitely going to be a hardcore game that may not appeal to the masses, but there was still a lot more accessibility for this to reach more players. But it's still one of those games that takes skill and time to learn, just like any other game out there takes skill and time to learn.
Gears of War?
It's for me. It was right there with Gears of War. I was like, but
let me ask you this, buddy.
Right there, it got to be here.
It's above Gears of War for me, but I love Gears of War.
Let me ask you this, buddy. Let me ask you this. So,
what's up?
So no. Let me ask you this. So you are okay with the point of they're making a game only exclusive to one console, which a lot of people may not able to afford more than one console. Only a game that's only exclusive for one console instead of it being multi-plat. You think that's fair to other people that have that game just to be a game of the year for only one console?
But Sekiro was multi-plat.
That's kind of fucked up and biased.
No,
like why? I mean, I understand if the game was multi-plat. But I'm saying the same thing for Gears of War. I wouldn't want Gears of War to be game of the year either because everybody don't have more than
Yo, listen, Sekiro is multi-plat though.
Yeah, Sekiro is multi-plat. I played it on the Xbox.
Is it?
Yeah, it's multi-plat.
Oh, all right.
Okay. No, that's a multi-plat, son. That's a multi-plat.
But if you're gonna follow that, then why was a game like Death Stranding
I thought
game of the year if that's only locked to one console? It's the same reason. It's the same excuse that you could use as why was God of War Game of the Year nominee last year if it's only on PlayStation. I was like, while I may not agree with it, but I may not agree with it. I may not agree with it, but at the same time, if a game does well and present, I mean, it's the same reason that if like Halo 1 could have won a Game of the Year way back in the day, it's because of the fact that it did something that was unique and it revolutionized something, right? It presented all the things that a lot of people would have wanted. It had a great story. It had a great gameplay back in the day. It also had great soundtrack and all of that. It checked all of those, even compared to today for its time. I was like, even if it's exclusive, if it can follow all of that criteria and handle everything that people want and do that in a manner that is approached and loved by everyone, why not be a nominee? I was like, I understand that it seems like garbage if it's exclusive, but that also just shows the kind of stories and kind of backing that those consoles could have. Look at when Gears of War won, the very first one won all the cinematography awards way back when the first one came out on the 360, and that was only on the 360. I was like, but that wasn't
Game of the Year, though.
No. Let me interrupt both of you. Has nothing to do with console exclusives. It has something to do with what's the best game of that year. Right. That's it. Don't. It's not about what console it's on. What? No. Let me finish.
Hold on.
It is about what's the best game of that year. It could be an indie game that gave an experience, the best out of anything. Doesn't matter.
I would say,
and I'm not mad at Sekiro winning it. I would have been mad if Death Stranding won it. I'm just disgusted because hold on, let me finish. I'm just disgusted because Gears 5 wasn't nominated.
And it deserved a nomination. I always say that it deserved it.
It's better than 99% of the games that came out this year. It's supposed to be nominated.
Oh yeah,
it sold more than Sekiro on multiple consoles.
I
So
understand
cool,
what you're
whatever
saying,
that
but being though that game was
nigga
on
jumping
multiple
up a Jeep.
consoles, you really can't. I mean, of course, it could have been better. It could have been another game that's multi-plat that it could have been a game of the year. Any game that's exclusive, that was not what that shit was about when they first started doing this. Until Jeff Keighley took over that. The moment Jeff Keighley took over that, it became about
No,
some game, certain
But
game.
but you know what? You know what? You know what? Flip. You know what? Flip.
Hang on,
You know what, Flip?
Flip. Now, Flip. I'm gonna keep it a buck. He won and made that awards.
Right.
Yeah.
I know that's what I'm saying though, but that's what I'm saying.
But he's sitting there and he's sitting there like he's God Almighty. He's not motherfucking Thanos.
I don't respect that dude whatsoever because of the bullshit that he does.
Fuck them Game Awards.
Hey, so what about Control though? I mean, that's a thing with that game. I don't even think that should have. I mean, I love Remedy games, but I still say a game like that should be considered game of the year.
Okay, Triple. Let me hit you with this.
Yeah.
Let me hit you with this.
It didn't even sell.
The game flopped. Can't be game of the year. Nobody liked it. That's why they threw it in there with Death Stranding. They tried to. They tried. No. This is the understanding, Flip. They tried to fix it so Death Stranding would win by default because they threw it in there with titles. You like Control flop. Why would you put that in there? How can that be game of the year? Who's that game of the year to? It ain't game of the year to the gamers. It didn't sell.
Yeah.
That's the point. That's what I'm saying. So
and that's why Sekiro got that
has
upset.
to, hold on, let me finish. A game has to be successful to be considered game of the year. Hideo Kojima tried to insult us, right? Western gamers don't know how to game. They need the experience, whatever, right? Okay, whatever. But in Japan, in 3 weeks, it sold 230,000 copies. I guess they don't know about gaming either because they didn't buy that shit either. Facts. They sold 180 the first week. That's the hardcore. And then you sold 233 2 weeks after the first week. That's 3 weeks of 230. Are you serious? That means word of mouth killed the game. And if anybody know anything about game sales, the initial guys that go out there is the hardcore crowd initially. And word of mouth keeps the momentum up. That game flopped in every region. How can it be considered game of the no? I'm talking about facts. I ain't talking about my opinion. Yo, listen, if it sold 50 million in Japan, I would have said it. What I'm telling you is it flopped. The dude just left. Hold on, wait, no. The dude just left his own studio. The game goddamn flopped. Right. His other man, the leader of the studio, left before he left. Come on, let's talk about it. Konami made it see something in him that they said he crazy. We saw him at E3 walking with 6 dudes my size. Didn't talk to nobody. He don't speak English. Why you walking through E3? Because you know people see you. I'm a fan since NES. The days of when the health regeneration thing was called rations. I'm a fan, but I don't co-sign BS. If your game sucks, it sucks. I like Yo Suzuki from AM2 and AM3 departments in Sega. Shenmue 3 is trash. Facts. I don't care if I like Shenmue 1 and 2. You see, that's what separates me and Bloody. Bloody going, find the kumbaya situation. The sun will shine and the grass will grow. No. Death Stranding is garbage. That's when Bloody admitted, wait, let me finish. Bloody game is not that good.
Why you say it sucked though?
No, the game is trash.
I mean, it gotta have a reason why it's trash.
Okay. One. Let me finish, Bloody. Okay. I watched several streamers. I didn't buy the game. I wouldn't buy the game. I watched Bloody play for like 4 hours. When you walk around and nothingness with no gameplay, trash. I'm not buying no game to walk around for hours and accomplish nothing.
Yep.
That's what I'm talking about.
Yep.
One button combination combos.
Yep.
Sorry. Yo,
Yep.
listen. I'm a Hideo fan. No. That game is garbage.
And didn't I kept it real about that game. Did I not
Yes, you
still
did.
get it? And did I
Yes,
not
you
say I
did.
was going to give it a chance and still give it the
Yes,
benefit
you
of the
did.
doubt and was still
He came
realistic?
on GRG and he kept it official. He said what it was. That's why I said, out of everybody that be talking trash, he co-signed this game. I said, I begged him at Comic-Con 2019. I said, Bloody, don't do it. This game has problems. No, I'm going to do this. And we got into a debate back and forth. I said, Bloody, I'm not going to discuss it with you no more because you're going to be stuck on what he's done in the past and you don't want to look at what he's saying in the future. When Bloody came on GRG, he said exactly what I said, but he said, Lemon said this, and I was like, nope, I'm still going to do it. I'm going to take one for the team. He took one for the team. The game is trash. Facts.
And even though I still streamed it, I did a lot of stuff in the background
Yes,
and made it easier on everyone who watched those streams. So that way they didn't have to see all the mindless manual tasks I did for hours to make it easier for me to do stuff.
Right.
And to watch the story.
But he kept it real. At the end of the day, he kept it real. He did what real gamers do. I bought that game Haze. Remember that game on PS2?
I remember
the next Halo.
PS3, the Halo Killer.
Yeah, PS3. Okay, the Halo Killer.
Yep.
I bought that game, right? You know, I'm a Halo fan. I bought that game. I said, yeah, if it don't have to be a Halo Killer, just be as good as Halo from Sony.
Yep.
I took that game home. I almost shot myself in the face. I said, this is horrible. Because that's just being real. And Bloody kept it real. And I want people to keep it real. That game should not have been nominated for Game of the Year. And you left out two big dogs, Call of Duty and Gears of War. Sorry.